Hi, Mr. Calix here from Math Magicians, and we will continue with our Precalculus course. Today we will see our third topic of the prerequisites, which are linear equations and inequalities. In this page you will find definitions for equations and how to solve equations, and the properties of equality, which are reflexive, symmetric, transitive, addition, multiplication. Solving an equation is finding the value for x that makes it true. Okay, as you can see, your definitions are here, your properties are here. We'll continue with the exercises. It says, find which values of x are solutions of the equations. We have to find which is the solution of x, a, b, or c. As you can see, you have three options. Okay, I'll change my color here to blue. What I do is that I start isolating for x, I start moving to the other side. For example, I see this addition here of a 2, I move it to the other side as a subtraction. I'll have my new equation as square root of 1 minus x squared is equal to 3 minus 2 because the 2 was added. I make that subtraction. The square root of 1 minus x squared is equal to 3 minus 2, which is 1. If we continue solving this, the inverse of a square root is a square power. So if I send that square root to the other side, it becomes a square power. 1 minus x squared is equal to 1 to the square power. If we solve that square power, 1 minus x squared is equal to 1. Now, the next step is moving this one that is an addition to the other side as a subtraction. I'll have negative x squared is equal to 1 minus 1. Then, if we solve this, this will just be 0. If I send the negative to a 0, it's just 0. And if I send the square root of a 0 is 0. That means that my answer is just 0, indicating that your answer would be letter B. On the bottom of this page, you will find linear equations in one variable. Very important is that for it to be a linear equation, the variable cannot have a power or a radical. Okay, it has to be, and there has to be a variable for it to be a linear equation. Mostly just x. Let's continue with the next type of exercise. It says determine whether the equation is linear in x. Remember, the instruction word. You have to have a variable, it doesn't have to have a power, and it doesn't have to have a radical either. So the first one, as you can see, you have a power. Okay, and you can solve for it. That means that yes, it's a linear equation. A variable, sorry, you can solve for it, and it doesn't have a power. So it will be yes. Okay, you can solve for it. But the second one, if I move this x to the other side, it subtracts the other x, indicating that the x will disappear. Because you will not have a variable, this will be no. And the next one, or the last one of this type of exercise, it says, the instruction said that if the variable is inside a radical are square roots, cubic roots, and on. So if it has a radical, it's not a linear equation either. So this will be no. Then you have two exercises. It says, solve the equation without using a calculator. We're going to start with this one here. The first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to make the parentheses disappear. How are we going to do that? We use this distributive property. Let's start with the first parenthesis. 3 times 5 would be 15z. And then 3 times negative 3 would be negative 9. Then we have another multiplication. Negative 4 times 2 would be negative 8z. And negative 4 times 1 would be negative 4. And all this is equal to 5z minus 2. The same equal sign. Then, if we do our like terms, or we evaluate our like terms, this is a like term. They have the same variable. 15 minus 8. 15 minus 8 would be 7. And then you copy your z. Your other like terms would be negative 9 and negative 4, because they're both negative. You add them and you carry their sign. This will be negative 13. And this is equal to 5z minus 2. Continue. Next, we're going to group our z's and our numbers without z's. I'll send this 5 to this side and this 13 to the other side, changing their signs. 7z minus 5z is equal to negative 2 plus 13, or you can say 13 minus 2. That is completely up to you. If you evaluate these two expressions now, this will be 2z, and this will be 11. And if we continue solving, sending this number to the other side as a division, z is equal to 11 over 2. This will be your answer for this one. Okay? The other one is here. We're going to copy it. Let me see. It says equal to 1/3. We're going to make this one in another page. Okay, I'll copy it here. It said t plus 5 over 8 minus t minus 2 over 2 is equal to 1/3. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make this subtraction. Okay, how are we going to do that? We're going to multiply our two denominators, 16, and then I'm going to cross product. 2 times t would be 2t, and then 2 times 5 is 10. Then, the other cross product, 8 times negative t would be negative 8t. And then negative times negative is positive, so 8 times 2 would be 16. All this is equal to 1/3. We do our like terms in our numerator. 8 minus, negative 8 plus 2 would be negative 16. And 10 plus 16 would be 26. All this over 16, and it's equal to 1 over 3. Okay, continuing here. Now, you can have your own process, okay? I like to cross multiply. That way I eliminate my fractions. If I cross multiply this, I'll have 3 times negative 6 would be negative 18t. Plus 3 times 26 would be 78. And this is equal to 16 times 1, that is 16, the other cross product. If you solve for t now, the way we did it in the last exercise, we send the 78 to the other side as a subtraction. Negative 8t is equal to 16 minus 78. You make that subtraction. Remember that this is manually be negative 62. And we send the 18 to the other side as a division. Negative 62 over negative 18. Your answer here is, if you simplify it, 31 over 9. I'll copy the answer here again. T is equal to 31 over 9. This will be your answer. And let's continue with the next slide. Okay, continuing now, but now we're going to continue with linear inequalities. Okay, you solve them the same way. The only difference here that here most of the instructions will say graph. Okay, so you have a definition of a linear inequality in this page. Okay, you have also properties of inequalities, which are transitive addition and multiplication. The first exercise, as you can see here, it says solve the inequality and draw a number line graph. Okay, we're going to solve this inequality. We're going to try to solve it similar to the equation that we just solved. If we multiply our two denominators, we'll have 6 times 8 is 48. And if we cross multiply the same way we did, the 8 multiplies the 3, 8 times 3 will be 24. And then the 8 multiplies the 4, 8 times negative 4 is negative 32y. And we do the same thing to the other side. Okay, 6 times negative 2 would be negative 12y. And negative times negative, remember that it's positive, and 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, this will be our fraction, and this is greater or equal to 2 minus 1. Okay, let's continue now. Like terms, same process. We have like terms in our numerator, negative 32 and negative 12. It's actually negative 44y. And then we have 24 plus 18. 24 plus 18, if you make your addition, is 42. And all this is equal to, 48, and is greater or equal to 2 minus 1. If we continue solving, in this case, I'm not going to use cross product. I'm just going to send this 48 to multiply everything to the other side. Negative 44y plus 42 is greater or equal to 48 now multiplies 2 minus y. If we use this distributive property to multiply this, we will have negative 44y plus 42 is greater or equal to 48 times 2 is 96, and 48 times negative 1y would be negative 48y. Let's continue this part. Now, we send our like terms, the y's with the y's and the x's with the x. That means that the 48 moves to the other side, positive 48y minus the 44 that we had there already. And this is greater or equal to, then we have 96 minus, in this case, would be 42. Okay, continuing this, we evaluate. 48 minus 44 is 4, is greater or equal to 96 minus 42 would be 54. We send the 4 to the other side as a division, greater or equal to 54 divided by 4. And if we simplify this, this will be greater or equal to 27 over 2, which is around, or actually 13.5. Okay, now once we have our decimal, we can locate it here. We locate 13.5 or 27 over 2, that's up to your taste. Put the decimal 13.5, and because I have the equal sign, I know that this has to be part of my answer. And then it says that y is greater than moves to the right side. Okay, so that would be your answer for this type of exercise. And let's continue with the next type of exercise. The next one is a double inequality. The process is very similar, just that you have to move to both sides. For example, this 3 here is dividing, so if I move it to this side and I move it to this side, it'll multiply in both sides. 4 times 3 would be 12, greater or equal to 2y minus 5, greater or equal to 3 times negative 2 would be negative 6. If we continue solving now, the 5 moves to this side and also to this side, to both sides. And also to this side, it will be adding because it was subtracting. 12 plus 5 is greater or equal to y, greater or equal to negative 6 plus 5. If we continue solving this, this will be 17 greater or equal to 2y greater or equal to negative 1. Now, the 2 moves to both sides as a division. We have 17 over 2 is greater or equal to y greater or equal to negative 1 over 2. Okay, now once you have this, you make your line graph. I'll start with this part here. It says y is less than, if you see it backwards, or you can see it 17 over 2 is greater or equal to y, indicating that y is less than that. If we locate 17 over 2, I'll locate it as a fraction now. We have it there. Let's fix that number. 17 over 2. Now, it has the equal sign, so we know that it's part of the answer. So we're going to color our circle. And then we locating the other one. I'll change my color so you can see it. This one here now. It says y is greater or equal to negative a half. We locate negative a half. We know that it's part of the answer, so we color it. And this one says that y is greater or equal to. The other one said that it's less than. Y would be less than. Now, since they meet, your answer has to be somewhere between those two numbers, including those two numbers. With this, we are done with this topic. I hope you understand. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, math is magic.